part of the board is doing work right now. Bingo! But there's also something here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly right. Professional Surfing Association suggests that you start with this. This board was shaped by Rick Irons, who was Andy Irons' father.
It's so heavy. Oh my gosh.
You know, I said walk to the beach. This is what we were carrying.
Oh my god. 嗨，大家好，我是陶乐斯，旁边是一平哥。
嗨。
今天听说还要带我来一个超酷国宝级的地方。
他真的是一个冲浪的宝典，因为他很会推荐，他看台湾的浪况，然后会看到我们怎么冲的板子是不适合今天的浪况，或者是不适合我现在目前需要的，他就会觉得是不是有一点东西可以做出一些分享。他介绍另外一张是 Marshall 给我嘛，然后就鱼尾的，然后板缘很锐利，然后中间那么胖，然后我想说这张是可以做出那种动作的嘛，就会先犹豫一下。结果我还是听了他的意见，结果我第一天下水，那天我去双桥下水，起乘第一下起来，身体抽的那一下，速度起来就是比别的板子的硬是多了1.5倍的速度，就是这么夸张这样，对。然后我想说会不会很难操控，然后我就这样转弯，哇，超好转。它好转的程度在我今天我决定要右跑了，我起乘之后才发现右跑盖掉了，我过不去了，我马上离子换左跑，它那个板子就瞬间咻就左跑了，就是大概就是这么灵活。所以我才会推荐你们来这边看，
好期待哦！
劝拜就是
劝拜大师，
对，很喜欢劝拜。
那我们就直接进去找俊喽。
好
，OK，Aloha，Aloha，
嘿，你好。
Jim, where are you from?
I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu.
Yeah, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Why did you come Taiwan?
Well, my brother's been living here for 25 years. He was a professor at the Haiyang Dashui, so I came to visit many times with my wife.
What the first image you think Taiwan?
Well, the first time I came was unfortunately Taipei, and you know, I came from a big city, Honolulu, so I wasn't so impressed, to be honest.
That's
and so
okay.
a few years went by, maybe 10 or 12 years. One of my team riders had come here on a job, and they came here and had a really great time. Said there was waves everywhere, food was good, people were really nice. So I thought, maybe that's a part of Taiwan I didn't see.
Okay.
And then I brought my wife over, and the first thing she said is, wow, it's kind of like Hawaii used to be. Back, I'm talking about in the 60s.
Hawaii?
Yeah, it is. It's very relaxed. Everybody's not in a hurry, you know, and so you could actually get a more relaxed and more intimate lifestyle. And the surfers here are really friendly.
Like EP.
Yeah, very, very friendly.
Why did you want to build this place?
The real reason that I wanted to do it is because I would love to help the Taiwanese surfer to be improved. That was really the bottom line. But the other side of that was I needed to have that for my visa. I have a business for the government, right?
Yes.
And so you don't come to Taiwan just to take, you come to give.
How old when Jim started to surf?
I started surfing when I was 12. And I didn't really get to a stand-up board. When I say surfing, we were riding what we call a paipo nui. It's like a bodyboard today. But of course, in those days, it was a piece of plywood. And it had some shape on it, and we just would lay down with swim fins and we would catch the waves that way. I think I got my first surfboard in 1964 when I finally earned enough money to
buy one?
Yeah, to buy one.
Hold it to sleep.
Oh, I literally took it in my bed the first night. I'm not kidding. I slept right next to it. I was so happy. Eventually, I broke it in half, tried to fix it, and I don't know how. I had two pieces and I put the chopsticks in it together, right? And then I just bombed it over. It looked like this mess, right? Just a mess. My mother was so upset. And yeah, but I had to go surfing, right? I took it to the beach, and the very first wave, it broke 2 more times.
马上一到 just one wave.
Just one wave more. But I was just so happy. In those days, I told you, nobody had money. You fixed it however way you could, and you went surfing again. And you go to the beach with one piece, you come home with two pieces.
So this is the half.
This is half of the surfboard. This guy is going home very sad, and nobody's gonna buy him a new surfboard. So he thinks, okay, I'm gonna make something out of it, right? And this is what he made. And then he found out how much different the longboard is from the shortboard. A lot more maneuver, right?
So in the surf history, we surf the longboard, and someday someone broke it into two pieces, and the shortboard is born.
That's right. It's almost as simple as that. If we talk about history, it started with a group of very radical outsiders that were crazy enough to go into the waves. That's everywhere else. Hawaii is different because Hawaii was the ali'i. Ali'i is the kings and queens. They were the only ones that were allowed to surf in certain places. That's part of surfing history, right? Is a Hawaiian Polynesian sport, Duke Kahanamoku. And he is the epitome of the father, the birth of surfing for the rest of the world. He swam in the Olympics. Duke made all kinds of movies with John Wayne and all these famous people. And he went to California and introduced in California. He went to Australia and introduced in Australia. Duke is the king, the prince of our sport in Hawaii. And these people made their living, made their life around the water. And as amazing as it is, they never took those surfboards home.
So just put the surfboard on the beach?
On the beach. It was too heavy. Who's gonna carry it home? Really? I think there's also the historical fact. They used these surfboards to paddle from one village to the other.
Oh, it's like a boat.
It's like a boat. Only it would be for personal people. George Greeno was really the reason that we started going up and down and try to get in the barrel, and all that stuff really started with George Greeno in the 70s. So he's a really important component to how we got from walking the nose and doing turns barely to up and down and fast and in the barrel, and we'll get to how we started doing aerials later, right? And he strapped a huge camera on his back. I mean, literally. A giant freaking camera, you can see it online. And he put it on his back because he wanted to show people what it was like inside the barrel. Way before GoPro. Now everybody wants to go like that. This helped the surfboard develop in a big way. Daniel shows up with Stu Kennedy in the water, a professional contest by the WSL. I think it was the ASP then. He's out there on this thing, a little thing that looked like this, just doing the most crazy maneuvers you've ever seen. He did what he called a nose pick, and literally digs the nose in underwater. The board goes over the wave like this, and somehow he comes out standing on top. Come on, that's not even possible, right? The judges are just freaking out. The people on the beach are just freaking out. Of course, there's television cameras there. And of course, Kelly Slater's there. The announcer, who's standing on the beach with him, looking at the board, sees Kelly Slater standing right there. So he takes the microphone and he goes, "What are you thinking, Kelly?" Kelly says, "I think it's the future of surfing."
Whoa.
So when you see this, big wide nose, big wide tail, straight lines. Why does this surfboard work in a round wave? And why does it work on a bigger wave that has power? It's all about the rail. It's about engaging the rail in the wall. Why do they think this looks more like a surfboard than this? Why in Taiwan do we think this? And the reason is because the people who decided to start making money off of surfboards in Taiwan brought certain models of surfboard. So consequently, what you got first was a lot of pointy nose, narrow, thin, very difficult surfboards. Great for California. Primarily, its place is not Taiwan. And if you have that one day at Fongbin or Chenggong or somewhere, great, good on you. But maybe you use that board 5 times a year, maybe, if you're lucky. Now, let's just walk through the soft wave. what happens? We're paddling, the wave comes from behind, it starts to pick up the board. Now, Dorothy, this is a question for you. Which part of the board is doing work right now?
This.
Bingo! Okay, so you got both of these boards have a fairly wide tail, and the wave from behind is pushing the board. The next step that you want is for the board to push. Now it lifts, right? And it starts lifting up and continuing to push. Now you can go. And it's all about what's going on here. Feel this. What do you feel right there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly right. Bingo. So what happens is this board, once you get it to launch, you have a bevel in the nose, a V in the nose to help the nose want to start turning. But then you come up on this panel, if you have skill, you come up on that panel and bingo, the thing is riding like a water ski. It's just so fast through here. And then you have this giant V back here, which means I want to change direction now. I take the board and I want to go this way. And that helps you roll from one side to the other. And because you're riding a very short board, you want the whole thing to be working, not just part of it. Then I always say to customers that if I had only one surfboard in Taiwan, this is the board I would buy, without a doubt, if you're a shortboarder. So the main thing that we take away from all this is the nose and the bottom of the board is absolutely critical to catching a wave. If you don't catch a wave and it's frustrating and you get angry or you get, oh, it's so hard, maybe next weekend I don't go. You know? It's just too hard. I think on finishing, I would like for you to hand me the bodyboard that's next to that red one. Just pull it out. Professional Surfing Association suggests that you start with this. Why? Because number one, safety. It floats.
It's soft.
It floats and it's soft. You don't get hurt with it. Number two, you got tied to it so you can swim back in. Number three, you put swim fins on. Now you have power. Number four, you learn from watching how the waves break and where they break. And you can also observe the crowd or however many people are there, what they're doing, where are they taking off. Also, it's affordable. It doesn't break the bank to start here. And I noticed that there's not many bodyboarders here. I think there's something that people think that this isn't cool. Bruh, this is cool. This is everybody, anytime, any wave, anywhere. The value of this is really immeasurable if you really want to be a surfer. Starting with this, it's awkward in the water, it's hard, it gets loose and somebody else gets hurt. It's a big thing to take in the water. Then you get them on something like this and it's actually the opposite situation. It's still hard to handle, but it's so short that you don't have any area, and so stepping up on it is not as easy as you think. And so you start with this, and you learn about water, you learn about swimming, you learn about where the wave breaks and why it breaks, and the currents, and all that stuff you learn from safety side.
Thank you so much today to introduce this idea. It's totally new word to me.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so happy. That's what I came here for. It's unfortunate that there hasn't been more education along the way, but it's okay. We are where we are, and we're all smiling. We all want to have fun, and just take it from here and start. It's good. Yeah.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. And it's so fun to watch you talking to the camera. What a smiley face. No wonder so many people watch you.
Oh, thank you.
It's so good.
It's Dorothy's style.
He's really good. I like it.
Okay, thank you, Jim, again
Oh,
today.
you're more than welcome. My pleasure.
If everybody loves this video, please give me a like and subscribe.
Hey, make sure you click it. Come
Make
on.
sure you click and subscribe my channel and share to your friends. Thank you.
I love it. Aloha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy. Every room in the house, upstairs, every room has surfboards.
And every surfboard has its history.
Every surfboard has a history. This is from 1962.
50 years ago.
That's a long time ago. I was 12 years old. When you're just a kid, $100 is this impossible dream, right? So I used to stare at this board, and I know this board, not the exact board, but this model, and I'd go there like 3 times a week and just stare in the window. Whoa, how do I get the money to buy that board, right? And funny story, one of my friends I told you about earlier, Randy Rarick. Randy Rarick starts an auction. He buys and finds old boards, and he fixes them up, really makes them look like new. And then he has an auction, and people come from all over the world. And I see this board come out on the stage, and I just go, whoa, that's a board that I wanted when I was a kid. And so I had a little thing for how much? Boom, boom, boom. My arm just kept going. My wife is holding my arm down. No more, right? And finally, I bought this board. More than $3,000 US.
Wow.
And this one is a gun that was made for pipeline. It was made in 1978. This board was shaped by Rick Irons, who was Andy Irons' father.
Andy Irons.
But the fact that we got the board was a special thing because we're on Oahu, he's on Kauai, different island, and he didn't shape a lot of boards. But then the most important part about it is the fact that airbrush. And that was from a friend of mine that had a hard time in Vietnam, and he came back and we started him airbrushing. And this really, really helped his life. I didn't want to sell it, and a customer came in my store and talked me out of it. And he says, how about if I give you money, and I take my surfboard to your house. And if I sell the house, then I send it back to you. 32 years later, I got a phone call. And I just went, what board? I didn't remember. So this is my faith in human beings. This board stays here all the time. This is original. This is an original board, 1960s. I know you can't pick it up, but just try.
Oh my gosh.
You won't be able to pick it up.
太重了吧? It's so heavy. Oh my gosh.
This is what we were riding. And you know I said walk to the beach? This is what we were carrying.
And from the mountain.
From the mountain. Going down was easy. Going back up wasn't that easy. We used really, really thick fiberglass. Nowadays we use really light fiberglass. But those days we didn't know about fiberglass. But this board is from the 60s, and I'm telling you, you can go ride it right now today, and it would be interesting to do just to try it, just to find out. Because you can't hurt it, you know?
太强壮了。
I mean,
今天吗？带他去冲。
that thing will bounce off the rock.